Hey everybody, welcome back to Mix Music Analog and mixmusicanalog.com and here on our YouTube channel. And look what we got back here from New York City. Dave is back and we're doing some videos today. And today is another fun one. Not that they're not all fun, but this is a cool one. So in this video, we're going to compare the sound of the SSL bus compressor from the console to a 500 series genuine SSL bus compressor. So this versus that. And then we threw in, for fun measure, while we were doing the video, we threw in a comparison to the West Audio Dione, which is the VCA SSL bus compressor with a couple extra goodies on it. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we post new content. Also go out to mixmusicanalog.com, check out what I have going on over there, including the 2 hybrid mixing courses. The link will be in the description box below. Yeah, so that's it. So now here we are. So we're going to be listening to a full mix that we did on the console for a series of videos this weekend. This song is by the artist Barry Dridger. The name of the song is Bad For You. Make sure you check out all his social links in the description box below. Barry's an awesome artist, and thanks Barry for allowing us to use this session in this video. Go show him some love. Check out his stuff. So we had a full mix, and we did 3 different prints. 4 different prints. So the first print, through the print track, like we normally would do, is we print it back through the SSL bus compressor here on the console. Then we bypassed that, and we hooked up the 500 series SSL bus compressor, Dave's new compressor. Yep. Made sure all the settings were the same, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then the third time, we printed it through the West Audio Dione with the same settings. And then the last print we did was through the West Audio Dione with the same attack release ratio settings and all of that. But the West Audio Dione has an extra feature. They have a total harmonic distortion circuit, and we engage that so we could just hear the difference with or without the distortion. Yep. So the real point of this video is comparing that compressor in the console to his new 500 series, but we threw the Dione in because we were here and we said, what the hell? Yeah. Then we don't have to do a separate video.
Yeah. And just in case anybody's curious, the settings were, we have a 10 millisecond attack, auto release, 2-to-1 ratio. And on the SSLs, we have the sidechain set at 30 hertz, where the Dione does not have a 30 hertz option, so we left the sidechain off on the Dione.
Right. And we're compressing about 4 dB. That's about. So it's pretty much the typical kind of set it and forget it sort of settings I have on the console. We drive the mix into it, hit about 4 dB of compression, and that's kind of where I've always found the sweet spot is, so that's what we have. So here we are in Studio One. So as you'll see, you can disregard this yellow track. That's just for the video so you guys can actually hear what's going on in the DAW. Here are our 4 tracks here, and the Origin is the first track here. The second track is the SSL 500 bus compressor. And again, maybe I should change that color to something else just so they can see it. Yeah. And we'll leave the Diones. And the last 2 were Diones, and then the Dione with the total harmonic distortion. But what we want to do maybe for the beginning part is just go back and forth between the Origin and the SSL. Yeah. And what we're just trying to see is, does the 500 series SSL bus compressor, does it sound the same as the one out of the console?
Yeah. Are you giving anything up by going to a 500 unit instead of the one in the console?
Or is it any better? Is it any different at all? I don't know. We'll find out. So let's listen to that first. So your job in the video is keep your eye on the solo button. That's it. Once we get through that, we discuss it, then we'll throw the Dione in for fun.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So we're starting with the Origin, which is the console compressor. Here we go.
So use your fingers at any time, yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Well, what does that mean? What do you hear?
I bought a 500. I bought an SSL 500 bus compressor. Sounds exactly like the 500 bus compressor in the console.
Yeah, yeah. That's my opinion.
I'm happy.
There's a little bit in the snare that I feel like I always like to listen to these things. I listen to that transient in the snare because that just seems to be the more obvious thing to listen to. And I hear a little bit of a difference, but I mean, it is so unbelievably minuscule. To me, that's the same compressor. I mean, you know, in theory, it should be the same compressor. It is the same compressor.
It's the same compressor. It should sound exactly the same.
Well, again, just yes. But remember, we always say, guys, you take two pieces of hardware, same identical thing from the same manufacturer, those two pieces of hardware, there could be a subtle difference just because it's analog.
Yeah.
They're not exactly, it's not like two digital plugins side by side, right? So if you heard anything that was slightly different, it just could be, well, this is one physical unit and that's another physical unit. But outside of that, I mean, tonally and
honestly,
the way it works.
This is in the console. Right. And that one is being run through a bunch of DB25 cables and patch bays and other stuff too. So, you know, there could be anything, there could be any attenuation in the cabling going on. Like I said, it's a different unit, so it could be, plus it's, you know, I think the auto release on the one in the 500 rack is a little slower overall than the auto release on the one on the console. Yeah, I think the auto release on this one, I think the needle was a little bit jumpier, a little bit livelier, but it's a minor difference.
But that's, I mean, from what we hear is it's the same.
It's the low end bump is the same. Yeah. The overall compression characteristics, the release characteristics are essentially the same. Yeah. There are very minor differences, like when we were switching back and forth. But then again, too, like we didn't exactly level match them. There might be like a half dB difference in it, and that could be part of it too.
Yeah, it sounds level matched.
It sounds level matched, but they're not. Nothing's ever perfect. So I'm happy with the result of that because I just went out and bought an SSL bus compressor to replace my warm audio bus compressor.
Yeah, so that here, so if you want to know, we're going to get to the diode in a second here, and we'll let you listen to that again now that we've kind of given our feelings. But the way this video, the real reason why this video has even come about is because a couple of weeks ago, depending on when you're watching this, you can go back in the archive, we did a video where we compared that compressor to his warm audio SSL bus compressor, which is what he used for years, and we compared that, and there was a way bigger difference in sounds.
Yes.
And then he said, Dave thought, well, he really liked that compared to his warm audio. So he went out and bought the 500 one. And we said, great, let's bring it up and let's see if it's the same. Yeah. And it sounds to be the same to me.
And to be fair, the warm audio bus compressor did not sound bad. No, it sounded fine. It really did. Yep. This sounded better.
Yeah.
So I was like, and it was enough of a quantifiable difference for me to want to make that change. So yes, I went and I went to Alto Music and I bought an SSL bus compressor.
Right. It sounds different. And so he wanted that.
This.
So I said, okay, go get that. And he went and bought that, and it sounds like that.
Yeah.
So now let's listen to that again, so you guys can now listen one more time, and then we'll jump to the diode and just have some fun and just see what the hell the diode does, and then we'll wrap up this video. So here we go. We'll start on the Origin, and we'll go to the blue, which is the 500 series. Here we go.
So use your fingers now anytime, When you move me, I can shake it. There's something going on, and I can take it.
I think, like I said, I think it's the difference in the auto release. If I went and put that thing on like fast release, it would have that snap back into it probably.
Probably, yeah.
know?
But I mean, tonality wise and everything else,
They're pretty damn equal.
it's pretty. I mean, it's equal enough for me.
Yep,
I
same
mean,
here.
so if you're wondering, because people have asked about, is the 500 series rack stuff, you know, is it any lesser or whatever the word you want to use? No, that sounds like that compressor, and so that's exactly what you get. So now let's listen, just for fun. Let's listen to, we'll listen to the Origin and we'll listen to the Dione. Now the Dione here in green, we can even change this if people want to make it a little easier for people to see. So the Dione here in the orange color, this is without that total harmonic distortion circuit. It's just a straight up, same settings, same amount of compression and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just so we could hear what the difference is between the West Audio and the Origin. And then we'll do it with the
Distortion.
yeah. Okay. So we're going to go from this one to the orange. Here we go.
Go.
I got your number, hey, you got mine. So use your fingers dial anytime, yeah. When you move me, I can shake it. There's something going on, and I can take it. I've been a shy boy, I try to do what's good, but when you are mine, I don't do what I should. I got it bad for ya, I got it bad for ya, I got it bad for you, yeah. I got it bad for ya, I got it bad for ya, I got it bad for you.
What do you think?
Dione has a more open top end. Other than that, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's almost a couple of times I switched, I went, no, they're exactly the same volume. And then a couple of times I switched, I felt like the Dione might be just a shave louder.
Could be. Could be. I mean, I honestly, I like I said, to me, the difference that's jumping out to me is in a more open, like an airier top end.
Just turn it down like a half a dB. I mean, again, I don't know. I do, you know.
Yeah.
I
Let's
could
run
just-
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's-
run it
let's
again.
run
I
it
just want,
versus cars.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
we're trying to get the same level.
Yep.
Oops. Like I said, it's close. It's real
Yeah.
close. Okay, here we go. So here's the Origin, then we'll go back to the Dione.
I got your number, hey, you got mine. So use your fingers dial anytime, yeah. When you move me, I can shake it. There's something going on, and I can take it.
Yeah, now it's not, yeah, I think before it was just a touch too loud, but now it sounds perfectly level matched. And I think it sounds, I mean, it sounds pretty much the same
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
You can almost think the Dione may even, I don't know, part of me thinks it feels like it's a little bit more modern sounding, where the SSL maybe feel like it's a little bit more vintage. I mean, that's a stupid word to use, but that's your classic, a little bit more round. The Dione might be a little bit more, it's a tad bit more punchy, feels a little bit more energetic to me. Just, I mean, we're just talking about minuscule,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but the Dione is a modern style. It's modern versus, you know, this is based on an old classic
Yeah.
design.
I almost maybe use the word polished.
Yeah, a
You
little
know?
more hi-fi.
Yeah, but I said it's to me it's like a tilt. You know what I mean? Like the SSL is tilted a little more towards the bass, the Dione is tilted a little more towards
Yeah.
the high end, but it's negligible. Again, I mean the difference is relatively minor. It's noticeable
Yeah.
But if you were mixing on an SSL console using that bus compressor, you needed a little more top end. You just add a little more top end to it, and you're done. And you have that.
Yes.
You have that sound.
Yeah. So if you want to know, well, how's the Dione? If I buy the Dione, it sounds like the SSL. Yeah. I mean, again, it sounds just like it. I mean, it really does. Now, for our last little test, we're just going to do the same thing, but now we're going to use the outer one here. So this is the Dione with the total harmonic distortion on its highest settings. There's medium and high and off. We did high because if you're going to use it, you may as well use it.
Got it. May as well turn it on. Yeah.
Right. So we turned it on. So now we can hear what is just adding the high total harmonic distortion circuit in the Dione. What is that going to do? Let's find out. Start with the Origin, then we'll go to the last green channel. Here we go.
So use your fingers now anytime, yeah. When you move me, I can shake it. There's something going on, and I can take it. I've been a shy boy, I try to do what's good, but when you are mine, I don't do what I should. I got it bad, boy, I got it bad, boy, I got it bad for you, yeah. I got it bad, boy, I got it bad, boy, I got it bad for you.
Your turn.
Yeah. Sounds good. I think I like it better without the THD, but I'm going to ask you to do it side by side with the two Diones for a minute. I think it's, again, I mean, with the total harmonic distortion, it opened up the upper mids a little bit, and it definitely sounds more compressed, which you would expect by adding the harmonic distortion. You're going to compress it, so it sounds more compressed. It sounds like you're pushing the upper mids a little bit in it. But it sounds really good. What I would like to do, in a minute, is run the two Diones side by side real quick.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that's what I hear. The instant thing I hear is it sounds a little more compressed, and like you said, it should. So therefore, on the Origin, the kick drum's got a little bit more transients, a little bit more bottom. The Dione smooths it out and rounds it a little bit more, but that's due to the total harmonic distortion. But it's on its highest setting. Now, there's also a medium setting, which we didn't do. So you have two different flavors, and those flavors are a little different because I've used it enough to know. So again, it's just a matter of taste and what you like. But overall, yes, it has that SSL thing. It sounds like an SSL G bus compressor to me, with a little extra sauce in there with the distortion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
drive it harder.
Yeah, yeah. So now we're gonna, for the last test here, we'll go ahead and we'll just test the last two tracks. Dione without THD, Dione with THD. Here we go.
So use your fingers now anytime, yeah. When you move me, I can shake it. There's something going on, and I can take it. I've been a shy boy, I try to do what's good, but when you are mine, I don't do what I should. I got it bad, boy, I got it bad, boy, I got it bad for you, yeah. I got it bad, boy.
with total harmonic distortion, I think like the thing that just jumped out at me is like he plays like this muted guitar chug thing under the ooh sections, and it pushed it right out. You know what I mean? That's what that did. Is it takes anything transient and pushes it more to the front. You know, I think in the context of this mix, I wouldn't be using that THD circuit.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
You know, yeah. But other than that, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, like if you were doing like a heavy rock track, that total harmonic that would be kick ass.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So yeah, on this particular example, and again, when this was mixed, keep in mind it's a full mix. It was already running through the Neve 542s. It's running through the Empress EQ. It's got already a lot of saturation stuff built in. It wasn't mixed with the dione as the main compressor. This was the main compressor. So we're throwing this on after the fact. So I think the THD in this particular mix is a little too much, but what I like about this particular compressor and having that option is that I've used it a lot of times on like pianos, strings, and that the high total harmonic distortion really excites the track.
Yeah, it would.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you're looking, and again, if you look at the price point of all of these two things, the dione is about $1,300-ish. Check. I'll put the link in the description box out to Sweetwater if you want to check that out. And the SSL 500 series for the last several months is only $1,200, but normally it's $2,400. So today they're about the same price, the dione and the 500 one. So if you want one that has the extra total harmonic distortion stuff, plus the dione has an advantage in that you have to plug in digitally controlled, which is really cool.
Awesome.
Really cool. Yep. So so all three of these things sound enormously close together. It's just a matter, you wouldn't go wrong with any three. No. Well, you're only going to get this if you buy the console.
All the options are doing the job. Pretty much, and doing it well the same way. Definitely better than, sorry, Warm Audio, better than the Warm Audio bus compressor did, with and without their transformer circuit in. Okay, so any one of these would be a better choice than that one. That one, again, Warm Audio sounded good. If that's in your budget range, or if you can get a used one for $500, go ahead and do it. It sounds fine. These sound better, they do the job better, but they're also, like for comparing new to used, more than twice the price. Definitely like I said, if I had bought the dione instead of the Warm Audio and instead of the SSL, I'd be perfectly content.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
you could have swapped. You could swap either one of those out, and you could get them to sound the way you want them to sound.
Absolutely.
And the dione has a little bit more flexibility if you need or want that. And so so that just proves that West Audio did a really good job on that.
Tremendous job
getting to the SSL, getting that SSL sound.
Yes.
And the 500 series by SSL and the stuff that they put in their consoles is the same. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Which one did you like? And make sure you go check out the one where we compared the Warm Audio. See if you check that out as well.
Do you hear a difference at all?
Or do you hear a difference, or what you like, what you don't like, or whether you even heard the difference. I mean, the differences here are pretty subtle, and over YouTube it's difficult, so we try to describe to you what we're hearing, because after it goes to YouTube, it could be even a finer line.
Yes.
But we will tell you it is a very fine line on these, and no matter which one you had in this example, you're not losing or gaining.
You didn't go wrong.
No,
if you bought the West Audio, if you bought the SSL, you didn't go wrong.
You got something that sounds just like the stuff that comes out of their consoles.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. So let us know what you think below. Okay. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. Go out to Mixing Music Analog. Check the hybrid mixing links in the description box below. And until the next video, I've been Dave, and he's been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thanks everybody for watching us today. We'll see you in the next video.
Take care, guys.